You guys, we're back. Sean Javon, All 52 Podcasts. Just give you guys like a disclaimer. We got some hot button topics today. We got Giannis. We got Javon's boy, Lane Kiffin. We got the Lakers. LeBron get out, yo. We got some. This is gonna be some hot. I was just looking at the list. I was like, oh man, this is some hot button topics today.
My boy is so good. That's how we started.
Gotta start off with some jokes, yo.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I see what type morning this about to be. All right.
Yeah, the topics are crazy. The lottery, Steve Kerr coming back. We got some topics today.
Yeah. This is quite the rundown. You're right.
It's a great rundown, yo. Let's get right into it, yo. Because I was gonna text you this morning about. Oh, we talking about Lane Kiffin first, right? All right. So Lane Kiffin basically came out. Man, I saw the quote. I was like, oh, I wish he didn't do that. But I took it as a diss to Ole Miss, basically saying that a lot of the black athletes did not want to go to Ole Miss because of their segregation in how Ole Miss is. It's predominantly white, not a lot of black people, as opposed to LSU, a lot of black people, not as many white people. It's a little bit better splits. What was that? And he did double down and come back the next day and say, hey, that was not a diss to Ole Miss. But what was your thoughts about what Lane said?
So to Brandon Walker, the idiot at the Dumbass Association, also known as Barstool Sports, and all white people that feel the need to speak on this. No one shut the hell up. Lane Kiffin didn't just pull that out of his ass. Let's hold on. Before I even dive into this, in no way, shape, or form do I think that Lane Kiffin is any types of sincere. Number one. And LSU's got its own version of what he's talking about with Ole Miss. The Louisiana State Tigers are not named after an animal. They're named after a Confederate militia. So, let's
Damn.
Let's not go all the way there with the mascots. Everybody in the SEC has a history. Okay, I just read something today about Florida wearing the Confederate flag on their helmets to try to intimidate an integrated Penn State team back in the day. So there's a reason D.L. Hughley just resurfaced that idea of black athletes boycotting the SEC. It's not a first. I can tell you, I know some fake ass woke people that have been flirting with that idea since I was in elementary school. So let's start there. But anyways, it's not Lane Kiffin didn't pull that out his ass, though. I can tell you from firsthand experience. What's the name of their mascot again?
Which one?
Ole Miss. They're rebels. They're the rebels.
Yeah, running rebels. I think you meant the name of the mascot.
No, UNLV is the running rebels.
Running rebels. Okay, so
Ole Miss is the rebels.
Just the rebels, yeah.
As in the Confederacy. The Confederate flag was a part of Ole Miss's traditions for so long. The stars and bars. When they're not wearing powder blue, their colors are literally the Confederate colors. like he's not making that up. However, this is Lane Kiffin, so let's not act like he cares that much. And he'll pull anything out his ass to defend his move. But yeah, come on, white people, shut the hell up. Sit out of this one. That is Ole Miss's history. Now, it's funny that we act like, the state of Louisiana in general is in a much better spot these days. We got a whole bunch of gerrymandering going on in these red states, and Louisiana is no different whatsoever. They got their own
issues,
issues going on with the governor and the legislature. Basically saying we don't give a damn about your parents and grandparents, and great grandparents who fought for your right to vote, and your representation. So listen, we can go on over it about the whole SEC. Sean, I've said on this podcast before, if I were a D1 athlete, I would never consider an SEC school. So yeah, let's not act like he's making this up. You want to call him insincere, that's fine, but don't use that to run away.
No,
the fact that he is still speaking the truth.
yeah, no. I took it as a diss towards Ole Miss, and it probably fact. Listen, let's call a spade a spade. Why did these kids go to the SEC? They were getting paid under the table, and they're getting paid now even more. You could go to Ohio State, you can go to Michigan and stuff like that. The guys could get paid, but in the best of the best, usually now it's before it's spread out because of NIL, but was going to the SEC. So I'm not surprised by that. But Lane just has like to. He's going to have little digs towards Ole Miss, right? He was speaking something about the diversity issues, and I've never been to Mississippi, so I want to make that very clear. I've been in a lot of places, never been to Mississippi, and from what I heard, it's still a level of segregation, a level of. I feel that in Dallas, Texas, sometimes when I go to Dallas, that's not Ole Miss, that's not Mississippi, right? So,
Dallas is you got black Dallas, you got white
yeah,
Dallas, and you got Latin Dallas. You damn right.
yeah. So that's Dallas, a major city, right? So I see that point. And again, if I had a son who was really good and he had a chance to go to Ole Miss or had to go to LSU, everything's equal. I would want him to go to LSU. Like, and just because I do believe in some type of having diversity. I grew up in a very diverse area, so I could be cool with white people, I could be cool with black people, Spanish people. So my best friends are Dominican. So like I think that what did he have to say it? He probably could have kept that to himself, but he was kind of speaking the truth a little bit. So I'm not mad about it, but he is probably the most hated man in Mississippi. And that game, I think they're going to Ole Miss this year. Yeah, they're going to Ole Miss this year. It's gonna be box office. It should be the
That's
8
going to
o'clock
be
game.
a 7:30 game on
Yeah.
ABC. Just book it.
Yeah.
No other game is going to be in that time slot. LSU can be undefeated and Ole Miss can be winless heading into that game. It's still going to be the 7:30 on ABC game.
It's gonna be crazy. But again, if everything's equal, you're gonna go to LSU. I do see what everybody's saying about boycotting SEC schools. That's just not going to happen because the best of the best competition most of the time is in the SEC. You can't beat that.
The best is where the players go. Period. So if you stop going there, they're no longer the best.
So, all right, but if you're trying to get to the league, and most athletes, let's call it space. Most of the black athletes or NFL are made of black athletes, right? Mm-hmm. If you want to, and you come from an impoverished situation or whatever, low income. You want to get your opportunity to get to the league. What conference gives you the best chance to get to the league?
If you're good enough, they'll find you. Didn't Indiana Didn't Indiana just win the national championship and send hella players to the NFL?
Yeah.
Doesn't Michigan send people every year?
Absolutely.
And Ohio State, Sean, Syracuse is going to have the worst third-round pick at corner this year. Syracuse. You can go wherever and play, Sean. As long as you're playing FBS football on at the Power 4 level, you can go to the NFL.
But let me correct that then.
Hold on, John. No. You ain't getting off the hook here. Where did your beloved Josh Allen go?
Did he go to? I forgot the school. He went to Buffalo.
Miami.
Excuse me.
Where did Mahomes go?
Texas Tech.
Where did Lamar Jackson go?
Louisville.
All right, so I just named who y'all consider the 3 best players in the NFL. Neither one of them went to the SEC. Should I start naming? Now, do you want me to go to a different position?
No, I want you to go to defense. So I named the best defensive players.
Max Crosby. Where did he go?
He didn't go to SEC school. I don't know off the top of my head, but he didn't go to SEC.
Michigan. Where did Myles Garrett go? Actually, no. Take him out because they had moved by then. They moved by then.
I couldn't remember.
He went to A&M. They moved to the SEC by the time he got there. All right, so scratch him. TJ Watt.
Wisconsin? No, that was his brother.
Iowa.
Okay.
His brother went to Wisconsin. The Bosa's.
One Ohio State.
And one went to Wisconsin. See what I'm saying here? You don't have to go to the SEC.
Okay, so well, I was gonna say historically it was the conference. So maybe you're right, maybe. But the thing is, no one could tell. We have to look this up. I can chat GPT this real quick. What was the last 10 years? Who has sent the most players to the NFL?
Congratulations, because that's where they are going. If they stop going to the SEC, then all that goes away. You don't have any shortage of good talent in the NFL or anything. It's literally decided by where the
Look
players
this.
go. So a boycott could work, Sean, if you just don't go to those schools and you take your talents out west or to the Midwest or to the Northeast or to the Mid Atlantic or to the Southwest. You won't hear anything about SEC anymore. Guess what? There'll be some new conference that steps up. It's nothing about the institution. There's no rule that says you want to be good to go to the SEC.
Oh, good point. Yeah, you
There's
made
no rule that says if you go to the SEC, then you will be good. No,
that's true.
Where you go is where you go.
Good point. If you're the best of the best, the cream of the crop, you will rise, right? You're gonna.
We see undrafted guys from the FCS make it all the time. What are we talking about?
That's a good point. But majority of the guys aren't going to be Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow played in the SEC. But yeah, I agree. So that's a good point. Great point. Great point. But I do think maybe you disagree. There ain't no. When I was up north, I always was like, yo, I want to go to a game, an SEC game. Like there's no conference that has that level of competition in the South and how all these teams like genuinely hate. Maybe Michigan, Ohio State. That's it. But other than that type of every week playing the best of the best in that type of environments,
well,
you're not getting that.
Like every team in the SEC is some good program. And we're not going to act like every SEC game is just full of hate. No, it's just a whole bunch of drunk white kids with nothing else better to do than to go watch some football on Saturday night. But we ain't going to act like South Carolina is some great program. We're not acting like Mississippi State is some great program. And like the whole SEC is getting up to watch those two programs whenever they come to town. We're not doing that.
I would say this. Since Nick Saban was in LSU, since Nick Saban went to Alabama, and then just over the last 10, 15 years, the SEC, I know the last 3 championships have come from the Big Ten, but that's because the rules have changed. The SEC, Georgia, they've been the best conference.
Level playing field where the SEC ain't the only ones paying people under the table anymore. Now they're not the best conference. Oh. Okay.
So Ohio State wasn't playing guys?
I'm just saying.
Come on. I agree. I think this has been going on for years. But over the last 10, 15 years, the SEC has been the best conference. And the last 3 years, we'll give it to the Big Ten. Absolutely. But the last 10, 15 years, the SEC. And watch what Lane does. Lane is John Calipari in college football. He's going to get the comparison in a sense. Lane's going to be able to recruit. He's going to recruit his ass off. He's going to get kids in the portal. He's going to be recruiting freshmen because Lane has that John Calipari charisma to him. I'm not saying the wins are not there. Calipari has one, but Lane doesn't have anything. But he's always going to be able to recruit. And now he has the big money behind him at LSU. It's a wrap. It's a matter of time before he's in the national championship games. I really believe that because I think he has that aura, that swag to him. He was able to recruit at Ole Miss. Come on, man. Ole Miss is not the cream of the crop of the SEC.
We have like Ole Miss didn't get players before Lane Kiffin. Are we really going to do this? Are we really going to do this?
All right.
Are we really going to
name?
Please tell me you want to do this.
They haven't had a legit first-round quarterback since.
Forget the quarterbacks. We're talking about football players. Did AJ Brown and DK Metcalf not come out of Ole Miss?
They did
before Lane Kiffin ever even got there.
They did.
So what are we talking about?
No, I'm gonna look it up. No, I don't. You can't tell me Lane. Just this year, you see the talent he's brought to LSU.
Bro, why do you think it takes someone to recruit LSU? We had this conversation when he first went there. College coaches themselves will tell you these guys ain't recruiting. Sean, tell you exactly how college football works.
Go ahead.
You start off at these small schools where you have to recruit. So you can get to a big school where you don't have to recruit. Mm-hmm. LSU recruits itself. Bama recruits itself. Florida recruits itself. Florida State recruits itself. Sean, I can tell you firsthand about Miami, where Mario Cristobal will go the entire recruitment process of not talking to a kid himself and still end up in that kid's top 5. And then the talking starts. These schools recruit themselves. So we're not going to seem to act like LSU is getting players because of Lane Kiffin. They got players with Brian Kelly. They just didn't win.
All right. Well, Lane was able to win in Ole Miss. What Lane's
Say
gonna do?
that. Say
No,
they'll be able to win again. But don't say, oh, they'll be able to recruit finally. They've
no.
been able to recruit.
All right. No, but it's not a foregone conclusion. Look what Miami's turned around the last couple of years. We said it on this podcast as the podcast started. Why are you not recruiting? Miami should always be in the top 5 in recruits. They're just getting back to recruiting people and they're paying people just like everybody else, right? So come on. In Miami's, I think Miami's right up there with LSU in the cachet of college basketball, football. Excuse me. I think if I'm a kid, if I can go to the U and the tradition they have over there, the money's equal. I'm in Miami, Coral Gables. Why am I not going there? But there was been for years, Miami wasn't able to recruit. How many teams, how many coaches have they gone through over the last 10, 15 years? It's not a foregone conclusion because you're in Miami, you're getting recruits. They didn't have guys coming in. We were talking about all the time, like, the talent they should dominate South Florida. And every other school, schools up here in Georgia, or a kid who wants to leave Texas or something. Miami should be a top 5 just because of who they are and where they're located. It's in Miami. And now you got money. Now that's why I'm seeing kids go there. You got money living in Coral Gables, no state income taxes. All right. Now it's easy to recruit. But before, Miami wasn't recruiting like that.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with the Miami part. I will say, it's funny how Miami football and Temple football has the time, because Miami football really went on that down spiral when they hired Al Golden away from us, and then we tried to get Manny Diaz from them later on, and they wound up bringing him back, and that didn't work out either. So when Miami isn't worried about going after the same head coaches that Temple's going after, they're just fine. But again, at these programs, they recruit themselves, and college coaches themselves have said that, not just to me, but to every reporter and every fan base in the country.
All right, I will say this. You said that in college sports. I know for sure Arkansas wasn't top 5 recruit since.
Arkansas doesn't recruit itself.
Okay.
Florida, Miami, Alabama, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, USC, Oregon, Texas, Oklahoma, those schools recruit themselves. Like I said, you start off at schools where you have to recruit, so you can get to the schools that recruit themselves.
Do you think it's easier that when Nick Saban was recruiting at Alabama compared to homeboy now?
Oh, it's way easier to recruit now. All you gotta do is flash a paycheck in somebody's face.
No. If you were a parent and Nick Saban's sitting across from you, or Caleb DeBoer sitting across from you, and your goal is to get your kid education, compete, and get to the league.
Oh, your show was saving over.
Of course. So there's a level. Lane Kiffin coming into the door is a different level than just Brian Kelly coming through the door.
But that's what separates you, though. That's what separates you. That doesn't change the fact that school recruits itself.
All right, no. So you're telling me Ole Miss
Georgia recruited itself, but Kirby Smart separated himself from the pack by bringing more of the like.
No, Georgia was trash.
Hold on. Say it again. What separates Kirby is how many of the guys who will get in there, combined with how you develop them. Because all these schools will get these blue chip guys. Who develops them is a separating factor, which made Saban and his staff so great. And it's about, like I said, these guys will automatically end up in the top 5 for these kids. Can you bring them home is the difference. You're already going to get, all right, you miss out on the 5-star. You're already going to get the 4 stars in your state. And you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I'm not. But again, Kirby, I think you're discrediting certain just because, no, Kirby, Georgia wasn't what they were when Kirby took the job.
I just said he elevated Georgia. What are you talking
Yeah. So Georgia, like I think there's certain schools now.
Are we going to act like Lincoln Riley is elevated USC? No.
Lincoln was
They're worse off. And they're
Right.
still getting recruits.
Okay.
They recruit themselves. Florida was sorry under Billy Napier. They got 4 and 5 stars every year. And it's not changing.
Then why is Florida State not recruiting itself?
It is. Norvell can't coach. They're getting guys every year. Sean, come on, Sean. I think you're forgetting. I do this for a living. They're getting 4 and 5 stars every year still at Florida State. They just can't coach. These schools recruit themselves. I mean, have you forgotten that coaching is the name of the job? It is coach, not recruiter. Coach.
Then why, besides the money, why, if you were Lane Kiffin, you leave? If that's you, because you would
help better for the money. It ain't no besides the money. That's why he left.
What is it? No, all right. So it's easier to recruit, but it's also easier to recruit at LSU over Ole Miss, correct?
Yes.
All right, it's easier to recruit, but then also he was getting good recruits to go to Ole Miss,
and he gets credit for that.
Yes. So all right. So Ole Miss, because Ole Miss is not on the same cachet as LSU. Now add that, and that team that went to the playoff last year, that's his team. I don't care what anyone says. No.
He golden coached them. Did Lane Kiffin coach a single playoff game?
When John Gruden won that Super Bowl with Tampa Bay, who built that team?
Did Tony Dungy coach that team? Tony Dungy kept losing. That's not his championship. That's not his team.
No, Tim Connolly. Who built that Nuggets team? Who built the Nuggets team? Tim Connolly built that Nuggets team.
Connolly is the GM. He's not a coach. What are we talking about?
No, but they get still credit. Mark Jackson, who helped develop the blueprint for the Golden State Warriors.
Did Mark Jackson ever reach a conference final?
No.
Not his ring. Steve Kerr's ring. What are we talking about?
I'm not saying
participation trophies.
I'm not saying they deserve rings, man, but you got to give them credit for building the culture. And then another guy just took it to the next level.
Draymond didn't even start with Mark Jackson. What are we talking about? Draymond was a bench player under Mark Jackson. Steve Kerr's the one who said, we can go away from David Lee and start this guy. What are we talking about?
No, that dynasty started when Mark Jackson said, that's the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history. He instilled that confidence in those guys. And then Steve took it to the next level. We got to give him credit for that. No, because no one knew who they were like that. And then he was like, yo, this is the greatest shooting backcourt of all time. He said it before anyone else said it. Let's keep it 100. So he set that blueprint.
And what did he win with him?
He didn't install the offense. It was a basic pick and roll offense at the top, like every NBA offense. Steve Kerr came in and developed the triangle with the motion offense. Unlock the whole team.
So that's Steve Kerr's team.
Absolutely, but we still got to give credit for credit's due.
But what were the Buccaneers doing with Tony Dungy as their head coach?
They wasn't into Super Bowls.
They were losing to Philly every year.
Yeah, they wasn't. They didn't have an offense.
That's John Gruden's team.
Then what did John Gruden do after the team started disbanding? He didn't do nothing. After that core group left, he didn't do nothing.
NFL sign and draft the players. Does the GM sign and draft the players?
Wait, no, whoa. When you John Gruden and you have that type of level of cachet and power, you have a say. He ain't just letting the GM pick.
Did you think John Gruden wanted Chris Sims as his quarterback?
I don't know.
Do you think John Gruden wanted Chris Sims as his quarterback?
I see John Gruden on the quarterback shows talking about he loves this quarterback, and they flame out. No.
That's TV for you. They're in your face. You kiss their. I remember when Fury and Wilder were doing their first fight, and Fox and ESPN were promoting the fight together. Remember that?
Yes.
I remember I was still watching FS1, and Speak for Yourself was the big show. It was Whitlock, Marcellus Wiley, Chris Broussard, and I think maybe TJ Hooper, whatever. They were out for the fight, and they had Fury on, and then they had Wilder on. They had Fury on, they're all in his face. Hey, what's up, champ? Boom, boom, boom. Then when he left and Wilder came up, all right, now this is the real part of the show. This is who we rooting for. That's TV for you. That's all they do is smile in your face when they're on your set.
I know John Gruden was able to get Carr was a capable quarterback. He got in John Gruden's system.
Who was Mike Mayock? Damon Arnett and Cleveland Farrell. Well, Mike Mayock staying going first round picks. Come on, man. We ain't
no. Whoa. John Gruden got $100 million, and he got final say over Mike Mayock. Let's not do that. He got $100 million. he had final say over him. Masai Ujiri just became president of operations in Dallas. He just hired Mike Smith as his GM. Mike Ujiri has high final say. Let's call it spade a spade. The GM is just the GM at that point. Mayock did not have final say over
Cleveland Farrell.
That's John Gruden. That's Johnny Gruden.
Alex Leatherwood.
John Gruden.
That's who Mike Mayock spent his first round picks on.
No, John Gruden did that too.
Sean, I'm never going to blame a head coach for first round pick. How
no.
Hold on, Sean.
Go ahead.
Here's why I'm not blaming head coaches for draft picks unless it's like I can barely blame a Shanahan. And I'm gonna tell you why. That's on the dumbass owner for giving the head coach that problem. And here's why. When do you have time to scout college football if you're an NFL head coach?
You don't.
You don't. That's the GM's job. The
But
GM ain't got to do no game plan or nothing like that. Your job is to sit down, watch college on Saturday, and watch the rest of the NFL on Sunday. A head coach cannot draft because they don't have the time to scout. So if a head coach misses on a pick, I'm not blaming them. They shouldn't have that power. The GM, however, is supposed to be able to say, no, not that guy. I've watched him from August all the way up through March. You saw a couple highlights in March. No. That is Mike Mayock to blame.
And this is, I know your argument is going to be, well, he didn't do it the last few years, but who's the greatest dynasty in football history, in NFL history?
Belichick's Patriots.
Who had the final say?
You want to talk about Bill Belichick's drafting?
The last parts, I agree, was hard. But the thing is, John, when you're in the job for 20 years, if we talked about this with Masai Ujiri, they won 6 Super Bowls. So was it all just about you had to keep replenishing these guys?
In the late rounds, hold on. And that's the thing we forget what Mayock. He actually got some good late round guys. Matt Crosby was one of his. Like, he can get the late round guys. But the first round picks, no. And those are the ones that matter the most.
I just know this. If the Giants flame out and some of their first round picks are a bust, you're going to come on here and you're going to blame John Harbaugh because you don't like him.
Because I know he's got nothing to do with it.
He has
that's the Joe Shane thing.
You don't think he has with all the money they gave him? You saying he doesn't have power over Joe Shane?
I know he ain't do no scouting until March, is what I'm saying.
I get that. That's true. But you're telling me he doesn't have the final say.
That is on the front office of being that dumb. I'm not getting on him. I do not expect coaches to be able to scout college players. No.
So Mike Mayock made all those choices.
Hold me to that if these draft picks flame out for the Giants. Hold me to that.
I'm holding to that.
You won't have to. I bet you won't have to. I'm on a coach for not developing a guy who actually should have been good, but I'm not getting on a coach for drafting a guy who wasn't good. No, because that shouldn't even be in their daggone job description. That's why the Clippers couldn't get anywhere. You had Doc Rivers being the GM and the head coach at the same time. It don't work.
I know Greg Popovich did it. It worked.
R.C. Buford was a great partner for Greg Popovich.
I'm not discrediting people partnership. I'm just saying at some point when you have a partnership, 50-50, right? Someone has to have more say because you're going to have disagreements. And when that more say comes, the head coach is the one. If you're Popovich, you're Harbaugh, you Belichick. Belichick had some really good executives who went on to do other jobs. But Belichick still remained, and the Patriots won 20 years and won 6 of those things.
If you think Pop found and scouted those guys, I've got a bridge in Brooklyn to sell to you. I really do.
All right, so just say we're doing 50-50, and I have final say. You still need to convince me that we're going to take that guy. You can't just say we're taking that guy. You got to convince Pop or Belichick why we're taking this guy. And then he has to be like, all right, I trust
if they say no, that's on them for being a dumbass.
Yeah, but you tell me they don't say no? No, they do. They have to. At some point, they're going to watch film and be like, he could play, he can't play. I remember the story. I saw this in the last day. Brett Veach saw Patrick Mahomes and kept telling Andy Reid, you need to watch film on this quarterback. He's going to be really good, blah, 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 blah. Reid didn't watch film until the end of the season. And then he was like, because Andy Reid had...
Ain't that exactly what I just said, Sean?
But again, it's not like he said, we're taking this quarterback. He still had to get the cosign from Andy Reid because Andy Reid, at that time, I don't know how the dynamics now is, had a final say or had a say. Just say a say. He had final say. You're telling me Andy Reid doesn't have a final a voice in
I'm not saying, but didn't you just say Brad Beach found Mahomes?
he found Mahomes. Absolutely.
Okay,
But you still gotta you can find whatever you want, but you still gotta convince the boss to take him.
that's on the boss. I did my part. I found him.
So Jerry Jones is watching film. No, they're going to Jerry and be like, "Yo,
I think so.
okay." Dallas has done a great job drafting.
Yeah, they've
I'm
done a
not
great
gonna.
job. You don't do that good of a job drafting without watching film. And again, Jerry ain't coaching. Jerry ain't got game plans to install every week. He's got time to actually go watch games. What are we talking about?
Jerry's
No,
running.
you're not telling me Jerry Jones is installing the first 15 plays.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Jerry is running a $16 billion team organization. 16 billion. And you tell me he's sitting down watching all these. He might watch these. You tell me he's sitting down watching a random kid on Saturday night.
He does not have a whole business team. I don't know what to tell him.
He definitely has a whole business team. But if you're Jerry Jones,
you think he doesn't have time on a Saturday, Sean, to sit down and watch college football? Please tell me you think that.
the same way Brett Reach has. Does he have that type of time? Oh, we compare.
Yes, that is his job as a GM.
Yo, Jerry he's not just GM.
Like you with this thought process is why we have the worst front offices in the history of sports. That's exactly why. You know why the Thunder are good and why the Jazz draft good and why the Celtics draft good? Because their front offices are the only three in the NBA that watch college basketball. They understand. I'm not here to watch the NBA. I'm here to watch college. That's how I have to build my team. I already know who's good in the NBA and who isn't because they on that TV every day and social media is talking about them every day. When free agency comes around, I already know who to get. You know why? Because my head coaches had to coach against them and my players had to play against them. That's fine. No, they haven't had to coach against who they haven't had to watch. The college players. That's my job in the front office. And that's why OKC, Utah, and Boston's draft departments and their draft classes are so far ahead of everybody else's. Because they understand the job is to watch college.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But you could still I don't think Sam Presti is just the only one watching film in that organization because they have a lot of good young executives.
He's not the only one.
Yeah, there's a lot of good young executives, but he's the man in that front office. He's the guy who gets final say. That's all I'm saying. It's like Popovich he's not watching Tony Parker in France on a random February night. I agree with that. But there's other people you put in that position. Why would these people? Didn't Sam Presti come from the front office? Yeah, Sam Presti was from there, from the Spurs. These guys get positions because Sean Marks was part of the Spurs. Danny Ferry was a part of the Spurs. A lot of these guys it's not just, but one person has to be the leader. That's all I'm saying. Belichick was not watching film every day at that time. Belichick had to get the right people in place to be like, hey, blah, 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 blah. And then he has the expertise. If you ain't that great, you shouldn't have any power. Then you have the expertise to be like.
That's on Bob Curran.
And it worked.
That's on Bob Curran.
It worked.
It was 6 years.
It didn't. But listen. At the end of the day,
even that last Super Bowl wasn't a product of some good Belichick drafts.
It was part of great coaching, and that's what he's going to the Hall of Fame for. But I would say this if they get it right. But I would say this: at the end of the day, I would take that success of 6 Super Bowls in 20 years. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. So he did something well because he had a say in the talent that came through the door. That's all I'm saying. He was the final decision maker.
Belichick coached those guys, and they just happened to get themselves some very good free agents. We're not forgetting, not all those Gronk, Hernandez, Edelman,
Brady,
Will Ford. They had some free agency signings too.
Seymour.
They had some trades, Richard Seymour, but they had some signings and some trades too, Sean.
Of course, anybody did. Anybody does. Yeah, huh?
That's it, but that's anybody. So I won't go too far on that.
Yeah, you have Hall of Fame guys, Kelsey, Mahomes, Jones.
That's the first part of the dynasty. We're talking about the second part. Because that second part of the dynasty, the rosters were not talented.
Yeah, Edelman, Gronk. Yeah, they wasn't the most talented team. I would say Malcolm Butler. He turned into something. That was development.
He turned into one season guy.
Yo, at the end of the day, someone you draft the greatest quarterback of all time, you get a pass in my book on a lot of things. Come on. That's all I gotta say. You draft the greatest quarterback of all time. What are we talking about? In the 7th round? Come on, what are we talking about?
All right, Sean, the Lakers were swept last night. 4th time in LeBron James' career. I got this off my chest. All the, playing in the Western Conference when they changed LeBron's career, people, y'all look real dumb. It's the 4th time he's been swept, right? All 4 times have been against a Western Conference team. And if OKC wins the chip this year, all 4 times will have been against the eventual champion. So if y'all think he was making it out the West every year, like he did in that sorry-ass East, you're just an idiot. But Sean, the Lakers swept. Needed a 3 late in that game, and Maxi Kleber was on the floor instead of the all-time leader in playoff 3-point field goal percentage, Rui Hachimura. But JJ Redick is such a genius. That's your boy. We'll go ahead and let you recap this whole series and last night's game.
I don't need to recap anything. I knew they were going to get swept, or they would have won one game. They were overmatched. OKC.
I said sweep.
You saw that sweep. Yeah, I said 4-1. So I don't have anything, and I do think JJ did a good job in this sense. I didn't think that team was a third C or 4th C. Go ahead.
He did a good job, and you got blown out in every game but game 4.
Oh, no, excuse me. Let me rephrase that. I thought for the season, he did a good job, especially that second half of the season.
Not to say, because them third quarters were ass whoopings. That means bad coaching. You came out of halftime, and they ran the floor with you. That's bad coaching.
But let's call a spade a spade. Let's call a spade a spade. I'm surprised the game even was close last night. Or they did a really good job on SGA. I thought that was the best defensive job I've seen in a team. Besides last night, he had 35. He averaged 21.
No, I think that was the best officiating of SGA we've seen.
The best what?
Officiating of SGA. Meaning, we ain't just going to give him every whistle in the world because it's the playoffs.
Whatever. At the end of the day, we're going to show that he averaged 21 points for the first 3 games. That's not a normal HGA stat line. That's
AJ Mitchell played better than SGA this series.
Yeah. AJ was good.
Y'all going to stop trying to get me to say SGA is the best player in the NBA. No, that brother has the best whistle in the NBA, and that's it. If I had to choose a guard to build my team around, I'm choosing Anthony Edwards over SGA any day of the week. But that's with me.
Yo, we're not going to they're doing this without Jalen Williams.
That's good. Congratulations. Deepest team in the NBA. Yeah. I get the front office all the credit in the world. I'm talking about Shea and Shea specifically. That's it.
Damn. But yeah, I think it's nothing. Yeah, I'm not down on the Lakers. It wasn't going to be a matchup. If Houston won the series before, it would have been 4-1, 4-2. Like, OKC is just the only team that could compete with OKC is the San Antonio Spurs. Even if Minnesota wins the series by chance, they're not going to beat San Antonio. They're not beating OKC, and they might win one game against OKC.
Oh, hey, I don't think that series is decided in fewer than 6 games. And the only reason I'd say Minnesota doesn't win this year, DiVincenzo's injury. They were healthy. They absolutely can beat OKC, and they've shown it in the regular season. I think they split that series this year. Minnesota is not afraid of OKC whatsoever, and that's literally all it takes to beat the Thunder. The Pacers weren't scared. The Nuggets weren't scared last year. The Spurs aren't scared, and the Timberwolves aren't scared. And they do not do well against teams that are not afraid of them.
Well, I know last year in the West Conference Finals, they lost 4-1, 4-0.
Oh, no. Listen. Yeah, last year, Minnesota. So I'll say this.
The same teams.
I'll say this. And Sean, you know this is a thing in sports. Sometimes you got to see them up close and personal to realize they ain't nothing to be afraid of.
Okay.
And I think that's what happened. Because the team that I saw play them in the regular season and the postseason last year ain't the team that I saw play them in the regular season this year. And a lot of it has to do with their leader and efforts. Like, hey, y'all, they ain't that. Come on. Follow my lead. And that's exactly. And then Chris Finch was like, hey, Ant's right. If the Refs Cup give us a fair game, we can beat them. Period. And that's exactly what was happening this regular season.
The only thing I would say, I'll give you a 6 prediction. if J Dub doesn't play. But if J Dubs plays, OKC is a better team than they were last year. They're deeper than last year because AJ Mitchell he's a starter on every team in the league besides OKC.
And you know something though, Sean? OKC is the team I'm happy about for this CBA.
Wow.
I don't think they should be penalized for how well they drafted because I just gave them their praises last segment for being one of the few front offices that actually know what they're doing. However, I would like to see a lot of these guys actually get their chances to be something, and it's not going to happen in OKC. I would love to see AJ Mitchell. I'll be honest with you. Did they pay Jalen Williams yet?
Yeah.
Oof, yeah. I would love to see AJ Mitchell elsewhere. I would love to see Isaiah Joe elsewhere. I would love to see Aaron Wiggins elsewhere. It ain't to penalize OKC. It's to give these guys a shot to actually show what they can do and make their money. And you're Mr. Player Empowerment and let these guys go get their money. So I don't want to hear an argument against that. I would love to see them go somewhere else and show exactly who they can be and get their money.
I would say this. I heard this, so I don't want to take credit for this, but I thought this was a really good idea because I think OKC could win the title even without J-Dub. That's how deep they are. I would even entertain, because with the way this stupid CBA is, that you trade J-Dub for the second pick in this or the first pick in this draft and restart, because then you don't have to pay those two guys.
J-Dub and who? Because him by himself ain't worth no damn top 5 pick.
If you whoa.
Jalen Williams by himself?
Jalen Williams on that Utah Jazz team. Just think about it. Jalen Williams as your 2 on that Utah Jazz team.
Give me Devancer or Peterson. I'm not, no.
Wow. You know he was a second team all player last year, right?
Congratulations.
And he's one of the best defenders in the league.
Congratulations. No,
wow.
Jalen Williams ain't no dang top. No.
I think if I'm Utah or Washington, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, damn, the second pick, and we could take 2 of their first round picks, and if I'm OKC, we put AJ in his spot or Peterson in his spot. I think we keep rolling.
Why would you let OKC do that? Why?
Why? The reason OKC
as an opposing front office.
Because this is the reason. If I'm OKC, I want to keep this dynasty going as long as possible. If this was the old days, I'm be dead serious. If this was the Golden State era when the CBA was the real CBA, which it should be, I think OKC could win 4 to 5 championships in this era. They can't win that because, like you just said, they're going to break up their depth really soon. With the next 2-3 years, they're not going to be able to keep all these.
But they'll be fine replacing it because they actually know how to draft and develop their talent. They'll be fine. They're not getting any woe is me out of them, out of me for the Thunder. They're going to replace all these guys. They're going to be just fine.
But what I'm saying is breaking up Jalen Williams' contract into 2 really good players. AJ Mitchell, because you could keep him, and you could keep AJ Devancer.
Oh, no, you're right. I'm just saying, I'm not getting
that's what I'm saying.
Top 5 pick for Jalen Williams, who's averaged 20 once in his career, 21.6 is his career high, and I'm giving up a top 5 pick for him, Sean.
I think J-Dub, I don't like him with the fit with the Wizards because I don't like your boy Trae Young. I just think he's not a good basketball player. But if I'm Utah, our problem might be defensively.
You're getting fired.
Yo, shout out to the Ainge boys. The brother,
and his third team last year, Sean. He's on NBA third team, not second team.
That kid he could be really special. I think he could be really special with his own team. Or he's the number 1 option or number 2 option.
Man, that ain't damn bum giving up the top 5 pick. Maybe that's U-Box pick, but not top 5.
So you're telling me any of those top 5 teams would not give up a pick to get Jalen Williams?
Who's the 5 again?
Chicago. I wouldn't want anything from Chicago. Memphis. I wouldn't want anything from Memphis. It would have to be one of the wing guys. So I need to be in the first or second pick. That's the only way I'm doing it if I'm OKC.
No. So if I'm Washington, no, you're not getting AJ Devancer for Jalen Williams. Hell no. And by the way, y'all are not entertaining phone calls for number 1 Washington. Don't be stupid. Utah, you can have him, Joe. He can stay in Utah. He ain't even from Utah. Hell no. Take the pick. turn your phone lines off and move on with your lives, you idiots. Utah. No, I'm taking. Who would I say? Hold on. Because I put my whole top 5 in the group chat the other day, right? Where is it? Where is it? Utah, I'm taking Akar. Memphis, I'm taking Peterson. Chicago, maybe Chicago can give up number 4 for me. Maybe. But then again, you're nowhere close to contention. I don't need your contract next to Josh Giddey and my Buzelos, who I have to pay. I'm taking Cam Boozer and none of him wearing his daddy's old jersey. And number 5, the Clippers. No, I'll take Caleb Wilson. I'll be all right.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, if I'm OKC, that the point is what you make is you're right. All these guys are gonna get opportunities. I just think it stinks because I'm a big believer. I want to see people knock off the champions, not like the rules.
And I hear that, but I will say this, Sean. In any CBA, this team was breaking up because all these guys would have a chance to go get paid more somewhere else with a bigger role in any era.
No, but they would be able to keep at least 7 to 8 of these guys together. They're gonna be able to keep those 3.
Look at their roster.
Go ahead.
And you tell me who you'd want to keep, / who you think they like. Just go look at their roster and you tell me who you think they'd be able to keep.
No, I would say after the big 3, right? I'm keeping Mitchell, even if he's my 6th
man.
Hold
on. Let's name. So you're saying Shea?
Yep.
Williams?
Yep.
And Shea?
Yep. And then I'm
That's
gonna
3 max contracts.
I know. So you're gonna lose at some point. Hartenstein and Dort, right? You're gonna lose.
Dort's gone this year, probably.
Yeah, you're gonna lose them, but you could replace some with Wiggins or AJ Mitchell, right? I keep one of those, but then you
keep Wiggins, you'd lose Mitchell. You would lose Mitchell.
Well, Mitchell's on. This is his 2nd year, right?
I'm saying once his contract is up, you would lose him.
Yeah, you're gonna lose Mitchell. So you keep Wiggins.
You can keep Casey Wallace around.
Yeah, I'm replacing Case. That's why I think Dort can go because I can have Case and Wallace.
Yeah.
So I'm keeping Case and Wallace. Yeah, that'll probably be my core.
If Caruso came back, it'd be on a very smaller contract once this one is up. And
he's older.
And he'd be older and like, hey, I might as well stay here and keep trying to win a chip.
Okay. Then that's a solid core. And then,
but they still lost those guys, though.
Yeah, they lost the guy. But remember, they drafted the kid from Georgetown last year. They have the 12th pick this year.
They're going to draft Sorber. I don't know about Sorber. I'll be honest with you. And remember, they still have Topic in the wings.
Topic is in the wing too. Then he just can't be healthy or he had cancer. So I see what you're saying. Those guys are going to get other opportunities and they're going to be able to move on. And even Jerry McCain, I think he's a solid fit in what they do. I really do. I think he's a solid fit.
In Philly, y'all couldn't find any other way to get out of the second apron but to trade McCain to the Thunder. You couldn't find any other team to trade him to.
They should have moved on from Drummond and kept McCain. But I know.
They needed Drummond because Embiid can't stay healthy. You got to keep Drummond. You got to
Boner, someone else. But I agree with you. They should.
But yeah, come on. This whole they're probably going to evaluate Morey and Nurse's job. Morey needs to go.
Oh yeah.
That's the biggest idiot that ever touched the NBA. Him, D'Antoni, those two, Steve Nash. I mean, basketball hell for all 3 of them. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, that's tough. But as for the Lakers, I think they will. This is a big summer for them. I think starting to find their foundational pieces around Luka and
that roster's pretty empty.
It's empty, yeah. So they have
Reeves is free agent. Ayton has like an $8 million player option. I don't know if he's going to come back because I think the Lakers are going to do a real good job of letting him know we don't want you back.
Exactly.
And he's dumb enough to think he's worth more than $8 million a year somewhere. So come on, you're going to get the dominating chain while you're getting your ass kicked and shit. We just saw a whole compilation of you not grabbing rebounds on one possession. The roster's empty. LeBron's gone. Reeves is gone. Ayton's gone. I don't know. And they're talking about they were in the conversation for Giannis, which we'll talk about later. If you're the Bucks, do you want to sign and trade with Austin Reeves? And if you're Austin Reeves, do you want to go to Milwaukee? That's the only way they can get Giannis. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Look, and this free agency class isn't super great.
It's not great
The
at all.
Lakers are they're stuck. And Luca, buddy, yeah, it's going to be a year or two before you get a team. I'm gonna just break it to you like that. And it's because it takes too much to build around Luca. You got to have a point guard next to him that can defend, and you need a wing that can score and defend. And then you need a stretch forward, and you need a live threat at the 5, and then you need someone else to come in off the bench and be a perimeter scorer. I don't know, man.
You don't see it, yeah. It's gonna be very interesting to see what they do this summer. But I do think I gotta be honest. From where they were at by All-Star break time, I think they overachieved with this team, but they're not close to a championship. They're not in the category of Minnesota, San Antonio, OKC.
What draft picks do they own, Sean? Because you tend to have that.
Who, the Lakers?
Yeah.
I know they have their first round pick this year, but they only gave up that first round pick for Luka in 2030, right? 2029. So they got. So I think they got this year's.
They own this year's pick. Next year's pick, if it's not top 4, which it won't be, it goes to Memphis. They own their pick in 28. Dallas owns their pick in 29, and they own every pick after that. Yeah, by 2030, a Lakers tank might be here.
I do think, and like we'll talk about, those assets along with Reeves, and we'll go about Giannis. I think remember, Milwaukee can't tank. Milwaukee cannot tank. They don't have control of their picks to 2031. Reeves might be the best ready-made, quote-unquote, young all-star player.
But if you do a signing trade, he has to agree to it. Does he want to go to Milwaukee?
Play with Kyle Kuzma and Miles Turner. I don't know. All I would say is shout out to Austin Reeves in this. That boy's about to get paid somewhere. He's going to get paid.
Yeah, and whoever pays is going to be an idiot.
Yeah. But I honestly, maybe for state income taxes purposes, I know that this is coming from me. I might want to go get traded in Milwaukee, get my bag, and then eventually ask for a trade and we'll move on. Because that savings in Milwaukee compared to living in California, it's probably like a $10, $15 million savings, man.
On top of the raise he's going to get.
Yeah, so it makes sense.
All right, so the 76ers were swept. Alan Hahn made a great point on ESPN the other day. He said, if you're the Celtics, you got to be sitting at home asking yourselves, how the hell did we lose to that team?
I was thinking the same thing.
I think that loss was way worse for Boston than it was for Philly.
Yeah, from Boston. They would have given us way more competitive series against the Knicks. I'm on an apology tour. I owe the Knicks fans, I owe Knicks people an apology. I thought Philly was going to win at 7. I was talking bad about the Knicks. I have to give Karl Anthony Towns, which is hard for us to do on this podcast, a lot of credit. They put him as like this point center role, and he's shining. They're playing defense. They're moving the ball. Yeah, I think them in Detroit will be in the conference finals. No disrespect to Cleveland, because I still think that series will go 7. But there's no reason why New York should not be in the NBA finals. The way they're playing, got to give Mike Brown credit. But as for the Sixers, I'm just going to say this. I don't know where they go from here. Like, Paul George still has 2 years left on the deal. Embiid is new sanction, 3 years left on the deal. You're blessed that you have a young backcourt, but then you might lose Grimes in free agency, Oubre in free agency. You have no other Spain. You in your guy Embiid that you built your team around, plays 30 to 40 games a year and not healthy all the time. This is like, I always say you're stuck in the middle.
Oh, they're stuck. I mean, it's real simple as this, Sean. Embiid and Paul George. It's that simple. Them contracts are so awful. No one's going to trade for them. You're stuck.
Yeah, you have the 2 worst contracts in the league.
2 need the ball shooting guards in Maxey and Edgecombe. And I don't trust your front office to do anything. I mean, this is the Sixers I've been telling you all about for years. The Sixers are the Sixers. So much credit to them for beating Boston. You won't hear me say anything negative about that. But I told y'all they were still going to lose to the Knicks, and they're just still not going to go anywhere.
It's not. I don't give them credit because people Oh, they finally broke the. Yo, to get embarrassed the next round like that, I'd rather not even got out the first round. That was
But I
embarrassing.
will say this though, they had to call back from 3-1, which was their own doing. You make the bed, you sleep in it, and then you play a well rested Knicks team. Did they have to get swept? No. But also, hey, Philly fans, y'all ain't that broke. The, the Knicks ain't got to bombard Xfinity Mobile every time they come to town, man.
Yeah, but that it happens here in Atlanta. It's just going. It's what it is. The reason is it's cheaper to see a game here in Atlanta, and what's Philly's an hour and a half from New York. If I'm a Knicks fan, the Garden for a playoff game is crazy. You could just go to Philly. They ain't those tickets ain't the same. It ain't the same. So they travel well, and it's only an hour and a half. Like, and I don't think Philly, especially after game three, there was no more hope. They gave up their hope. So those tickets was you thought that crowd was probably 50-50 at that point, especially for
Easily.
game four. So I it's more I know what people are saying, we gotta support, but it's only an hour and a half drive for New York fans. Philly people don't have
The
as much money
Philadelphia
as
just
New York fans.
and they're sick of the Sixers too.
Yeah,
Philly
like
has turned its back on the Philly is all in on the Eagles and the Flyers right now. It has turned its back on the Sixers and the Phillies.
yeah, like and the only way you could do is move Embiid or Matt or George, and you ain't gonna be able to do that. So you just gotta hope Maxi keeps getting to all NBA level, and then Edgecombe takes a step quicker than we think. I think they're stuck. They're stuck, and
Yeah.
it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling for Philly fans.
You know what's so funny about that series of Sean, particularly when he came back to Philly? Rick Brunson and Mark Tyndale, two Temple guys on the Knicks stand, coaching the team built by Villanova, whooping the Sixers in Nova's second home. Coach Chaney somewhere rolling in his grave, man.
Yeah,
This just don't feel right, man.
yeah. It
Uh.
just it was bad. Philadelphia fans having a tough time. But yeah, I just think they're stuck. That's the first time I could be like, we could try to figure it out, but Embiid just doesn't play. If Embiid could play, I even the George thing, it'll be all right. But he don't play, so there's no more hope. So I don't know what firing Nurse would do, or even firing more. I would let Murray stay just to like, hey, look at this every day. You put us into this situation. That's what I would do. Yeah, I'm just saying because you can't get. How are you gonna get us out?
He's getting paid. He'll be happy to keep watching it. He thinks what he does is good. You ain't punishing him.
Yeah,
You reward him by doing that. No, fire his ass.
someone said this, and it was like
I'm not looking at his face every day.
they had no reason 2 years ago to extend Joel Embiid's contract another 3 years. I know he's coming off an MVP season and all that BS, but there was no reason, no pressure for you to do that. And you did that 300, 200 million, 200 millions over 3 years. Woof. Damn. They're stuck. They're stuck.
Yeah, I got it.
Damn.
Yeah. All right. We got two time series, Sean. One in the East, one in the West. Pistons and Cavs. The Cavs just only show up at home, I guess. And then the Wolves and Spurs tonight. Wemby will play. He's not going to be suspended, which he shouldn't because they've been pushing that guy around all series long. Somebody needed to catch an elbow. Your breakdowns of these two series.
I think the only thing if I'm Minnesota, first of all, I think San Antonio is shooting themselves in the foot. The first game, Wemby did not shoot the basketball good, but Mitch Johnson, you got to call a timeout, and he's the best player on the floor. It's like Kobe. You got to keep shooting. Shooters shoot. Let him shoot that last shot. So that cost them the game. And then Minnesota could have lost game four. That Spurs team was playing with energy. They were playing focus. They were playing just tough, even when Wemby was playing, and they almost could have pulled off the win. I think if everything's equal, if I'm Mitch Johnson and I'm Wemby, I'm that guy. I'm not getting this game to 7 games because in game seven, anything can happen. And it's special. We all know Anthony Edwards is special. I would tonight's a statement game for me if I'm San Antonio, especially in our bill to be the team that's going to try to catch OKC and knock them off eventually. We have to come out with some force and some physicality to the point that we impose our will on them. And so if they do all that, I think this series should be over in 6. And regarding the Cleveland Pistons game, I'm not going to front. My least favorite series out of the 4, even though the Knicks and Sixers was blowouts. I just
Yeah,
don't.
2 sweeps, and that's your least favorite.
Yeah, I just don't really. I just see
Boy, the market
right.
dictates a lot for you, huh?
No, 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 no,
Goodness
no, no, no,
gracious.
no, no. But you think it's been good basketball?
No.
At least with the Knicks, it's been beautiful basketball to watch. And then
Hey, but Donovan put on a show last night.
he did. And I always watch OKC because I do think they're one of those generational teams. I always try to appreciate stuff like that. I really do. I think they win it. We got to give them what they've done over the last 2-3 years. It's been special. But yeah, I just don't think it's good basketball. I'm not really enjoying both styles of play. But I think that series goes 7, and I think Cade puts on his cape and wins. I don't trust James Harden on the road in Game 7. Yeah. Well, we got to give him credit. He was special in Game 3 down the stretch. But I don't trust him in a Game 7 at home. I don't see it working out at all. And that's the only reason I'm picking the Pistons. But I would love to see the Pistons in the Knicks NBA Eastern Conference Finals. That's gonna be good.
I think the Knicks have fun with the Pistons. I'm be honest with you. Jalen Duren has played like dog doo-doo, and that's only going to get worse against the Knicks.
Yeah, he's pissed down his pants this playoffs.
Yeah, so no, the Knicks are going to be in the finals. Congratulations. That's my thoughts of that series. But yeah, with San Antonio and Minnesota, De'Aaron Fox, I need some better shot selection from you when you get hot, buddy. Because he'll get the feel of himself and then think that means come down and shoot a dumbass 3 and just halt your progress. That changed last game. At some point, I need the Spurs to look like they know what they're doing when Wemby is off the floor.
They did good on Game 4.
They did. That was the first time. But like I said, then again, got ruined by the shot selection. And Julius Randle, but
stealing money. Damn.
When are you going to show up?
He's their second best player, you think, right?
I don't know who number 2 is in Minnesota. It might be DiVincenzo or Dosunmu, to be honest with you.
That's the problem. Minnesota needs a real number 2.
A real number 2.
Yeah, that's the problem.
I said before the series, I was torn on who to pick. I still am. I don't know. I really don't, because I don't want to say Minnesota doesn't go for a 3rd time in a row. But I don't want to go against Wemby. And from what I've seen, I need him to stop all this jump shooting. Because that's bailing Minnesota out also. So, there's one thing I did want to see these playoffs, and it's looking great. Dylan Harper improved consistency and efficiency. And he's shooting, 40-something% from the 3 these playoffs?
Yep.
Yeah, San Antonio. Y'all can lose De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
I promise. And get a power forward or get another big who can actually rebound while Wemby's out there blocking shots. OKC just proved you can play a traditional 4 and 5. Basketball does not change. Please go get somebody next to Wemby now. Because I'm sick of seeing Champagnie and Harrison Barnes at the 4.
Yeah, that's actually a prime.
Johnson off the bench.
No, it's funny. This is another thing. We'll talk about the draft. If I'm San Antonio, I want to extend my window. We already paid Fox. Wemby's contract is about to start kicking in. Well, he hasn't got paid, but he's about to get paid. I trade Fox I call the Hawks. Hey, you want him? You need a point guard, and I'll see what I can get. And then I can move. Because you got to, Harper has to be a starting point guard. I think it's just, he needs it. And I want to keep the other pieces around Wemby. I think Fox is a good player, but I think Harper can be a special player, like an all NBA player consistently. He's that good. So yeah, I gotta move on from him. But I think they're gonna do the Kobe Bryant effect, give him like another year or 2, and then realize, all right, he's the guy, and then move on from Fox.
All right. The draft lottery was Sunday before the games took place. You had some winners and losers.
Yeah, so my winners definitely Chicago. I think they need a guy who can be the face because I don't see any guy. I like Buzelis, but I don't see anybody on that team with any upside. So they're gonna get someone at 4. It's a really good draft. Um, Definitely Washington and Utah. The tank work. I'm actually really happy for Utah because I think Utah adding another wing guy could be a top 6 team in the West.
For
Because I
what?
think, huh?
For what?
Oh yeah. We got to talk about this because you put Acuff there. Darius Acuff playing your point with George as your 2.
Yes. I'm fine with that.
That's a
Let's
small
Let's do
team.
combos. Look how much size they have behind them, though.
And what about Ace? Where's Ace going?
You got Ace Bailey at the 3, Marketing at the 4, or Jaren Jackson, and Kessler at the 5. You got more than enough size behind them.
No. Yeah, I think you miss. Someone's gonna. I think all 3 of those big men start.
Oh, that's the problem. See, and they tried it. They definitely did try that. They can't do that again. I don't think that's a long-term thing. I really don't.
So, actually, what was the guy who went off when he got to play? Sensabaugh. He can play. He's going to be a solid. He could actually be your 3.
Utah's a deep team. We keep saying
Yeah.
they lose because they want to lose.
Yes,
They don't lose because they're bad.
Yeah, and Will Hardy can really coach. I can't wait for this year. He could finally be like, I can win. Like I can actually coach because they always start off really good and then they tank. And I'm like, man, this team can actually play. It's just they tank. That was the goal and it worked.
So
that's a deep team.
You don't like Acuff then?
No.
Your fancy. Talk to me on this one. Trade down and end up with Flemings.
No, but what I don't like it is I think George should be your point guard.
No.
Yeah. You can't pass up on Peterson or AJ. And I'm
Stop doing this.
What, man?
Doing this.
Yo, what?
He's not a point guard in any sense, shape, or fashion. Every time they try you, what happens? All right, Collier, get in there. What are we doing? Stop this.
Listen, those days, this is a great point guard class too. So and then some of them, but those days it's just not what it is anymore. I just don't see it. So
teams that win still play like that. That's all I'm saying. Y'all do all the positionless that. The teams that win still have somebody that either fit the traditional position or the traditional roles. Yes, they do.
The team that's about to be a dynasty don't places that guy you think that Flower Bader. He don't play. He's the point guard, and he don't play like Chris Paul or any of those guys.
Did I say Chris Paul, or did I say they get the offense going?
All right. Well, the guy who you just said it was a foul baiter. He has the best team for the last 2 years, and they're on pace to go back to the finals. They could lose, but whatever. They don't play like that. So if I'm looking at the blueprint, that's the blueprint. No one else. That's the blueprint. Just a deep team.
And Sean, and that once again, your thought process is why we have the worst era front offices in sports. Since when has copycatting worked? You cannot beat someone else at their own game.
But don't you think this?
You build your own team. That's how you get dynasties.
But look, why don't I just draft the best player? We're gonna have so much talent. So imagine you draft. This is what I would do. This is a couple options.
If you want to draft Peterson, that's fine. But trade George.
Then who's gonna be your point guard?
Go get one.
All right, so that's what I'm saying. I think you could always go get a point guard with that much of talent you have. Go get the best talent. Stack that team. Because one thing I think.
Hold on. You just caught you up. Because you're the same cat who got on the Rockets all year long for not having anyone to run the offense. Now you don't need a point guard. Make up your mind, Sean.
No. The Rockets messed up on this aspect. The Rockets messed up because Reed wasn't ready. Reed is not better than George.
Shepard ain't a point guard.
Reed's not better than George. George can play. I think, and I'm not saying Reed can't play. Reed can play, but George is a better. I think George did a good job with the ball in his hand. Again, I think with that team, and you have a really good coach, I'm really high on the coach. I don't think you might need a traditional point guard. I think you could play different sets, things of that nature. Is Jamal Murray a traditional point guard?
No.
Because Jokic is the guy, right? So I think you could use marketing as your guy to initiate the offense.
That's
Yeah.
not Lowry Markkinen's game. Why
I'm
do y'all keep trying to okay? The reason why we have the worst front offices in basketball. Y'all all wanted to play like the Warriors, but don't have Stephen Clay. Now you're saying the Jazz need to play like the Nuggets, and they don't have anyone that plays anywhere close to like Jokic. What are we talking about?
I'm just saying you could go get your point guard.
I don't like where basketball is right now.
Yo, listen,
So how we got to this point?
I think Utah's biggest thing is this. If you told me, hey Sean, trade the second pick in one of those rotational guys we have to Washington to move number 1 so we can get AJ. Yo, listen, Ryan Smith was paying AJ because they were like, hey, we want to entice him at BYU, like Utah. The kid's a worker, grinder. It seems like he loves Utah. They need to do whatever they can to go get the first pick, and get AJ over there.
That brother do not care about staying in Utah.
I wouldn't care about staying in Utah either. I got my $7 million. I'd rather be in Chocolate City. I can't lie. But which team would be better if he was on that team next year?
Well, ain't you Mr. Builder? Washington. What?
Washington's going to be better than Utah next year. Washington's going to be better than Utah with
Trey Young, Trey Johnson, AJ DeBancer, Eric Starr, and Anthony Davis.
My guy said Trey Young.
With Keyshawn George and Bub Carrington off the bench.
You see what the Hawks did after they traded Trey Young this year?
I know. The Trey Young stuff, I know. I'm still talking myself into it.
Yeah, you're doing that, yo. I hate that, man.
I'm going to tell you why I think it's different. I swear, I'll tell you why I think it's different.
Go ahead.
I don't think he knows this is not his team. Especially if they get the Banter. I think he falls in line. Me personally. Because I think Trey Young has seen enough basketball and is smart enough to understand. I got one more trade before it gets real bad for him. It's already getting there.
Yeah, he's a
trade it again. It's over for him. I think he's going to fall in line in Washington. I truly do.
The problem is this: Jalen Johnson.
And if not, we got a direct line to Trey. We'll call Sam, we'll call Rayford, and deliver the message for us.
Yeah, like my problem is Jalen Johnson was unlocked when Trey wasn't playing this year. And then he was fully unlocked when Trey was gone. So my thing is AJ is going to be special. I think AJ is going to be really good. I don't want Trey taking the ball out of the kid's hands or even hurting the development of any other guy. And Trey's going to play just averaging 15, 16 points a game with 10 assists. I'm super all in on it. But if you tell me Trey's going to be shooting, getting you 22 to 25 with 10 assists, I'm not sold on it. I don't think that's winning basketball.
I'll say this. Here's where you were right. And the one concern that has not eased, and why I'm very nowhere near as bullish on the Wizards as I was. Brian Keefe is still there. That's an issue.
Yes.
I can't even fathom why in the world he's still there. And Ted Leonsis just doesn't know a damn thing. That pissed me off all over.
Yeah, that's my issue. But I think Utah could be a top 6 team. They have optionality, and I think they could be a top 6 team. The last thing, my losers, Sacramento and Brooklyn. Those two.
Sacramento don't deserve nobody.
Yeah, but those 2 teams out of all the teams, maybe not even Washington. No, they needed a face of the franchise. And I'm not saying these guys can't be good point guards. They're going to be really good.
Whoa. You're the Kings. You don't get rewarded for putting together such a crappy team. Y'all chose Zach LaVine. Y'all chose DeMar DeRozan.
Whoa.
Y'all chose to pay Sabonis. You don't get rewarded for that. No. Ain't no sympathy coming from me.
The first 2 teams got rewarded for playing bad basketball for the last 2-3 years. Losing on purpose.
But no. You want the Kings to get the number 1 pick to bail out their front office for them terrible ass contracts. No. I'm sick of it. No. I think the Kings got exactly what they deserve.
To be honest with you,
what bad contract is in Washington right now?
Whoever won they give Trey Young this offseason. Talking about extended Trey Young, he hasn't played with the young guys. It's wild to me. That's malpractice. You talked about that.
It hasn't happened yet.
But that's what it's talking about, and that's malpractice because you don't know what he's.
I don't think you pay Trey. I think you let him we'll talk about this again at the trade deadline if you're Washington. We'll talk about an extension again at the deadline, but we got to see you play with these guys
We-
first. You're
yeah,
absolutely right.
yeah. So I'm not big on that, but yeah, I think
And what bad contract is in Utah right now?
you could make a case if I don't think Jaren Jackson's contract's a bad contract.
I think so. You can't be
Yeah.
6'11" and that terrible at rebounding and think I'm going to be fine with you making $40 million. No.
Yeah, he's got to get back to a different level, or that's going to be really. Then I think he becomes another tradable piece, and you build around marketing. They have so much talent. Damn, and
It made no sense to acquire Jaren Jackson.
yeah, it didn't make sense. But the thing is, if they knew they were going to get the second pick with the draft, they never acquired Jaren Jackson.
Nope.
It doesn't make sense. Yeah, because now where's Ace playing? Where's Peterson? One of these guys playing? Like it just.
Log jam.
It's log jam. And then my last thing about Brooklyn is they had 5 first-round picks. None of those guys look like franchise players last year. And then if you get, I don't think all these point guards, all these guards are going to be stars in the league. Like, going to be really good players, some borderline all-stars. But at the 7th pick they have, yeah, I think Acuff will be
6,
special.
7, and 8 is Michael Brown territory and Fleming's territory, if you ask me.
Yeah, I think they should
I don't think Acuff falls there.
That's the guy because I think he has a little Allen Iverson to him, like that type of game that he could bring people out to that. It's such a, I don't know if you've ever been to Brooklyn, but it's such a dead arena. It's not the Nets.
Oh, I've never been to a Nets game, but I've been inside the Barclays Center.
It's dead.
First of all, them prices. That's the first issue. I'm paying $18 for some dry ass chicken tenders and burnt ass tater tots. My question. Yeah, Empire Classic. I'm still mad about that. Y'all made us pay for our own food as reporters. It's crazy. I can't believe that. And Barclays Center ain't got no options in there. That's bogus to me. The Barclays Center just doesn't feel like it's supposed to be a big attraction. Like I was in there, it didn't really feel like an NBA arena.
And
then it's attached to the subway station. Ain't no parking lot or nothing, and it's a whole bunch of. It's like a shopping district because it's right on Atlantic Avenue, right? It's like a shopping district. It doesn't feel like a NBA arena to me. It felt like the Lyric Opera House in Baltimore. It doesn't feel like I've caught the train to Penn Station, which we know is right next to MSG. I look at MSG and I'm like, yeah, I feel something.
Yeah, special.
I don't feel nothing with the Barclays Center.
Yeah, it's not special. So they need that juice. I don't know. They just don't. Since they moved to Brooklyn, they've been trying to figure it out.
And
don't have it.
They've been trying to copy the Knicks with I think the lighting needs to change. The whole blackout everything and put the light on the court, that just don't work for the Nets for me.
Yeah.
Show the crowd. Show the crowd.
Yeah.
Show the crowd.
Yeah, it doesn't work. But I think those were my 2 losers. But shout out to Utah and Washington. I think Utah, both of those teams will be contending for playoff spots next year. That's what I would say.
And Capital One Center doesn't feel special either.
No, it's dead.
Yeah, it feels like Royal Farms Arena. To be honest with you, it's just in DC. Like it's Royal Farms South to me. It's not even Royal Farms. What is it? CFG Bank Arena now. Bro, we changed the naming rights in Baltimore so frequently, it's hard to keep up with. All right, we got some quick ones coming, Sean. Calls for Giannis. Again, I feel like we talk about this 6 times a year. I'm getting sick of it.
Yeah, but I think the coach and Haslam has made it known. You extend your trade. I think Milwaukee should be talking to Atlanta. That's probably the first thing that comes to my mind. Get 2 first-round picks in this draft and start over. But if I'm Atlanta, I don't know if I want Giannis. The Lakers, Miami need him the most, and Golden State. Those are the 3 teams that need him the most.
The Lakers have nothing to offer. Golden State's talking about dangling the 11th pick for a star. I don't know if the 11th pick is worth a star, to be honest with you. Minnesota might be able to do it. Minnesota might be able to do it. Who else was it? Boston's got nothing to trade unless they give up Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum. They've got nothing to offer. Who else was it? Cleveland. Who do I want from Cleveland?
Nobody.
I gotta get Jalen Tyson in one of your big. No, I don't want one of your big men. I got Portis and Miles Turner. And I don't want you. I'm cool on it, and I know you're not giving up. So Cleveland's a no. I think if you're the Hawks, Giannis, Okongwu, Jalen Johnson. Yeah, but where does that leave Kuminga though? I don't know. Maybe Kuminga's my four and Okongwu goes somewhere else. I just don't know because again, I'm not giving up much for Giannis on a rental, and he's been injured, like, and he misses the playoffs all the time, all the time.
If Giannis has a 1-year contract and
he's going to get to choose where he wants to go. If you're in Milwaukee, you maybe do have to cave into Golden State.
Yeah, Golden State. But if I'm Giannis, I want to be a Laker. Out of all those options, and if I'm the Bucks,
I think that's the one. If you're in Milwaukee, you can tell, hey, we can't get nothing from them. We can't make that. We just can't.
You have to make a 3-team deal. I want to be a Laker. I want to be in Miami. Probably Miami. I don't think I want to go out west.
Giannis and Bam is terrible space.
Sounds hard. Yeah, it's not good spacing at all.
Steve Kerr's back in Golden State, 2-year deal. Draymond Green's got a player option. The return to the obvious has held him back in his career. No, that's the guy who made you. Draymond and James Harrison. Can I get this off my chest?
Okay.
Joe Porter said this about James Harrison. You do all this talk about Mike Tomlin when Bill Cowher's the one who cut you twice. All that Debo stuff ain't starting until Tomlin came around. You were just a guy with Bill Cowher. So I don't know where all the meat riding comes from. Same Draymond, you've been on the bench behind David Lee for years if Steve Kerr didn't come along. So stop. And Steve Kerr didn't hinder you. You called for Kevin Durant. And that's what sent you to your role.
Yeah.
You did it to yourself. Have some accountability.
Yeah, I agree with that. That makes a lot of sense. But shout out to Draymond and Austin Reeves battle. That was pretty funny.
Austin Rivers.
Austin Rivers.
Shout out Austin Rivers for going at that jackass on To the Baja. That Asian dude hung. I don't know why they have him on that show. He knows nothing. He sounds annoying. Like, yeah, damn sure reminds me of Ned from Spider-Man. Austin Rivers, thank you. Again, I think we just need to go. Listen, I got some growing up to do. I don't know. Some people just need to be slapped or just beat the hell up just because. And he's one of them. Eating his glasses knocked off because he's just annoying.
Yeah, the Club Flying 20 guys said it perfectly this morning. I was watching it. They were like, yo, you could say someone's not better than him, but to say to an NBA player you didn't deserve this type of money, that's like, come on, man. Like,
whoa. Some guys on some contracts, they don't come on. And Austin Rivers named them from that summer. I will never forget Alan Crabb, 4 years, $70 million, just because the TV deal went up. Alan Crabb didn't deserve no damn $70 million. And Timothy Mozgov and Lou Aldain got contracts from the Lakers that year. No. You can
Tyler Johnson
deserve it. You know what? I didn't like that he named Tyler Johnson. Because that was like 3 for 56. And Tyler Johnson was hooping in Miami. I don't think he fit that list that Austin Rivers was talking about, to be honest with you. Me personally.
But $50 million? That's 20.
I was rocking with him. I'm sorry. 19, about what? That's about 18, 19 a year. A little steep, just a little. But for the money they had to spend compared with how he was playing, I wasn't mad at it. I'll be honest with you.
But what did he do after he got that money?
Let's go look. Because I rock with Tyler Johnson because he lost his daggone his tooth in one of them games. Let's see. First year 5.9, 8.7, and that's when he got paid. 13.7, 11.7, 10.9. Hey, that's his 3-year contract right there. Hey, hell with it. And they were able to trade him on the last year of his deal. So look.
Oh, so he got a 4-year deal.
He had a 4-year?
Yeah, 4-year, $50 million.
Oh, see, yeah, that ain't bad. Yeah, I thought it was. See, look, it was cheaper than I thought it was. Man, that my man Johnson. So they didn't trade out for the last 2 years of the deal, essentially.
Austin Rivers that 42 was in that summer, a little steep, but he outplayed the contract though. I think he was a better player than what other people.
Good for the Clippers.
And
he played good for the Nuggets too.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Austin Rivers is as bad as people think. And that Baja guy, he was just trying to do things for clicks.
And let's not forget, Austin Rivers had his career sabotaged early. Austin Rivers was a 2 guard that they kept trying to force to play the 1. And once he was finally able to move off the ball, we were able to see him get boogie. Now, he wasn't the player he was in high school and college. No. And if you watched him at Duke, you could tell he wasn't going to be some all-NBA scorer. But then he was playing out of position for the first couple of years of his career. Let's tell it like it is.
No, we got to say 100%, 1,000%.
And there's a lot of people who would kill to have an Austin Rivers career. Come on. It's like Austin Rivers and Kenny Smith. That's the perfect. I would kill to have their careers. Y'all crazy.
Yeah. He wasn't a bum. And I think that the kid made it seem like he was a bum. He was not a bum basketball player.
It ain't home. Shut up. Verse expansion idea. College football playoff or this new 76-team March Madness where a whole bunch of 16s and 15s are playing each other.
Yeah, you just water it down. The worst idea is
for mid-majors to get more access. It's for more teams like Texas last year that go 17 and 15 to get in.
Yeah, it's trash. Just money. I love the CFP. We talked about it last week. We get rid of bowl games, and we have more. Well, it's at the NIT version of it, the CFP.
Oh, the NIT version of CFP.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I'm big on the CFP expanding because I do think you could find the only way. I don't want to see James Madison in it. I don't want to see.
I don't want to see a 24-team CFP.
Yeah.
I want to see a 16-team, but I would be more open to a 16-team CFP than a 76-team NCAA tournament. That's what I'm at with it.
And some years you're gonna get teams like this. You have Vanderbilt, Texas. You could have an argument for other teams, but some years you're gonna get arguments and be like, "Yo, they only making it." I get that part, but March Madness with the more teams, you're definitely gonna get teams who are 15 and 15, 16 and 14. Just trash. I don't think.
You just told us nothing matters until Thursday, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're just trying to get to a field of 64. All right, that's fine. Whatever.
Exactly.
Now I don't like how I gotta wait till Thursday to essentially fill out my bracket now. Well, to fill out these last couple legs of the bracket, but whatever. Sean, the Chargers got David Njoku on a 1-year deal. I don't know how I feel about it. Ronnie Gaston was pretty damn good last year, but two tight end sets seem to be back in the NFL. That's cool. But the Chargers need somebody who can win on the perimeter, man. McConkey needs help outside. I don't think adding another tight end is what LA needs.
Yeah, I'm surprised because did they run a lot of two tight end sets in Miami under McDaniel? No. So my concern is, well, I like McDaniel if you're saying, hey, come and run the offense you wanted to do. You did it with Tua and them like that, because with the speed and things like getting the ball out quick. But if you're going to try to mix and match that Harbaugh type of like physicality team with McDaniel, I don't think that's going to work. I could be completely wrong. They definitely need some more speed, more like they don't have enough speed on that team.
Speed. They just need somebody who can catch and get open. And Quentin Johnson's got speed. He's inconsistent. And Keenan Allen's old. I don't think they signed Keenan Allen back yet.
Maybe they should take a flyer if he gets healthy on like Tyreek Hill or something like that.
Go get Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, Stephon's still out there.
Boy, Stephon in LA. Ooh, trouble.
Yeah. If you can't behave in Boston,
but that's the same thing with Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill in LA. Trouble.
Yeah. Tyreek couldn't last in Miami. Miami's tough. It's tough.
All right, Sean, Javon Jennings to Minnesota. So if your boy JJ McCarthy somehow finds his way onto the field this year, he already had no excuses. Now he's got a negative amount of excuses. That's 3 receivers. Matter of fact, I would say that's the best receiver trio in the NFL with Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Javon Jennings.
Who's the third guy in Cincy? We don't even know him.
Yoshibas.
Oh, Yoshibas. Okay, yeah, nah. No. I think Kyler. I don't know. I haven't really been getting hearing updates, but Kyler should have no excuses there.
Oh, yeah, Kyler too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So they are. Yeah, that team's going to be better offensively. Definitely going to be better offensively this year. Now that JJ's going to sit, I think Kyler. we're not worried about Kyler's talent. We never said anything about his talent. It's just the
You
work
stay
ethic.
off Call of Duty on.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's the work ethic. You're going to prepare like an NFL quarterback. If you're not, it's not going to work. It doesn't matter what talent he has.
All right. We got some new divisional leaders. Sean. The Padres are overtaking the Dodgers in our West, but you know which one I want to talk about. The Rays have replaced the Yankees for first place in the East. Last time we were in this position, didn't fare too well for the Yankees.
Yeah, it's the Rays are back. Like they took a couple years off, middle of the pack of the AL East, but they're doing it how the Rays typically do it: pitching, timely hitting, all that stuff. I just don't trust that team come postseason time because I do think at some point they get exposed with that lack of where they're too analytically of organization, and it cost them a World Series a couple years ago.
They took out Blake Snow at the wrong time. I think they play a great brand of baseball aside from that. They're the last team that still bunts guys over.
Yeah, but I just don't believe in it. But they're very heavy analytical organization. I'm just not a big fan of that. You have a mixture.
The spreadsheet never wins.
Yeah, so I'm cool with that. But I'm happy with what my Yankees have done because we're doing it without number 1 and 2 starters from a year ago. Like we're still in first place. Well, we're still in a battle for first place. We're getting to. I just still. Stan, I can't wait for Stanton's contract to come off the books. He's been good in the postseason, but he don't play. We pencil. I remember a couple years ago he was mad at Cashman for saying that. Well, you got to pencil in. He's only going to play 100 games, maybe. It's just we already know that. So I think they're one bat away. But I love our pitching staff in the bullpen, moving one of the starters in to help out with the bullpen. Go get a couple of relievers. I'm happy where we're at right now. I can't lie.
I will say y'all are the first team this year to send a left-handed starter out there and lose to the Orioles.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, but so I would be happy about that. But I think you're fine. With the Padres and the Dodgers, though, I watched the Braves give it to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
Ooh, lot of strikeouts. Something about the Dodgers just doesn't feel the same right now. I don't know if it's the rotation. Something about the Dodgers just doesn't feel the same.
I think it's tough, man. You're going for three-peat complacency. As the last team to do was the Yankees. I remember that three-peat that year because I'm a big Yankee fan. They struggled through the regular season and they were able to turn it on when it counted and they won their World Series. But I think it's tough. I think it's really, really tough to win 3 in a row. But I'm not counting them out. And Ohtani hasn't been Ohtani level this year.
No.
He hasn't. He has not been Ohtani's level. So I just think playing all this time, it's just the maturation of the process.
All right. Anything else?
Nah, that was good.
Scouts releases Thursday. We should have known Cowboys and Giants was going to be the first Sunday night game. We should have known.
I love it. That's 2 teams that I think are going to. One of those 2 teams will surprise us, and I think one of them could win the NFC East.
I hope that Ravens and Bills game is. I could do it. No, not a Thursday. Yeah, please don't let that be a Monday night game. Just let it be a Sunday game, please, and let it be a Sunday that I don't have to fly back. That's all I'm asking. I guess I'd go out there again. And no, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that one, Sean, because they pissed me off. That was a waste of $300 last year, man.
Yeah, that was You want the opening night last year, right?
Yeah. Me, my pops, my uncle, and my little brother. Let's say that was a quiet ass drive back.
Yeah, that was a tough way to lose it.
And I didn't get back till 3-4 o'clock in the morning, and had to be at the office by 9 o'clock that morning too. It was bad. It was bad.
That's tough. But if it's going to be in Buffalo this year? Oh no, it's going to be in Baltimore.
I think it's in Buffalo again.
Oh, okay, it'll be the new stadium, so that'd be dope to go.
Yeah. Because that old boy, they still had benches at the old stadium.
You know what place? I gotta say this, and it's be my last rant. I went to Arizona. I went to the Diamondback Stadium against I think the Blue Jays. They had the benches too, and I'm thinking this stadium was in 1999, 2000. Benches? Like I know it was 26 years ago, but benches?
Benches is
I
crazy.
I can't go. I can't do that. It was besides the pool, kind of mid. It was very mid stadium. Very disappointed.
You know what sucked about that drive back to when it's that late at night and all three passengers in your car sleep, you just in there like, damn, sleep sounds real good.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a tough drive, especially you be hype if your team won, but the
boy,
way
but
they
that
lost,
loss, oh, we were shoulder faded, bro. Oh,
yeah, that's tough.
yeah, get me up off of here. Now, dang, gonna ruin my mood for the day. We'll be back next week.
Peace.